The aim here is just to record videos of myself to see if I change over time. It's only about me and how I feel and how, well, I could say that today has been quite a stressful day with one thing and another, doing different things today, different for me, what I would not normally do on a Sunday. Although there are things which it's been a work day. It's the sort of thing that I would normally do for my work, but not normally on this day. It was quite difficult, as it always is, because my work involves me interacting with people quite a lot, which is something that I have for most of my life avoided strenuously. My work has various works over the years have involved me interacting with people, and that's unfortunately unavoidable. Is there any remunerative employment that involves one eschewing all contact with other people? If there is, I've yet to find it, although I feel it would suit me. But the point is that I've had various employments over the years. Not all through choice. Some have involved close interaction with people. Most haven't been too bad. I have had a period of self-employment in the past which did revolve around my successfully interacting with other people. And then I returned to employment. And now I'm employed not as the principal in the business, but much of the time I am the face of the business, which is extraordinarily hard work for me. It can be rewarding. It's physically and mentally draining, and I don't do it very well. But that is my job at the moment. And I'm now completely lost for words on this, my inaugural business live video. Anyway, my aim is to record videos and see what, if anything, changes, and record anything that may be different. As I've said, my employment, my self-employment involves me meeting, interacting with other people and selling my wares at a time when interacting with people outside work, voluntary interactions, have tailed off to almost completely nothing. I have no social life. I don't go out and meet people and interact with them if I can help it at all. I would like that to change. I would like to feel that I can interact with people when I need to, when I choose to. That I can go out and talk to people, engage in conversations and joint activities. That is something I don't do outside work. Even my nearest relationship, we don't go out and do things outside work. The bare minimum. she goes off and does her, excuse me, she goes off and does her own thing for her leisure and pleasure, which is fine. She escapes from us, the relationship, and does things that brings her much joy. She leaves, I mean, this, her going off and doing that, leaves me feeling, yes, a bit flat and empty, because we're not working and we can maybe be doing things together. But at the same time, it leaves me an opportunity on my own to do things that I want to do, which largely involve substances and self-examination. Is that sad? It probably is, but it is at the moment bringing me huge amounts of joy and satisfaction. And through that, I'm able to feel much gratitude for my life as it is at the moment. But I would like to feel able to get out more, to meet and interact with people more, because that is something that in my life has come to a stop. Historically, my work has involved meeting people and being with people, and it's been incredibly stressful, and it had reached a point where I just couldn't do that anymore. I was still working, but my life work interactions had contracted down to a bare minimum. I spent some time working with a company, and within that company I talked to no one. I couldn't, I felt really I couldn't, and I had to stop that job, and I went back to one I'd had previously, where again I had contracted such to the extent that I just didn't relate to more than one or two people within the company. And then it all changed. The company itself, for reasons I'm not going to dilate upon, built a new factory and relocated there, leaving me in charge of a job about which I knew absolutely bugger all, with 2 and at times 3 part-time employees working for me. Very stressful, but at the same time it was satisfying because it just contracted down to the 3-4 of us at times. At times I'd be completely on my own, with mostly telephone or fax contact with my employers. And I could cope with that, and I stuck it for years because I could cope with it. The people I worked with, nothing in common, but they were both nice. Well, 3 of them were nice people. 1 left, so we were only talking about 2. They were nice, they were generally supportive in the work we were doing and the role I had created for myself. And I coped with that. But then ultimately, after 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, I had no idea how long it was, lost in the mists of time. Eventually that had to end, and we were moved to the new factory, where my little contracted world stayed in my little basement with my 2 minions, and intensely painful, unbearable dealings with the people outside my little realm. I stuck it for a year. Really, I couldn't take it any longer, and I left with the intention of finding another job. But to be honest, that I just couldn't face that. I couldn't face going out and putting myself in a position where I had to be with other people 5 days a week. It was just too much. And fortunately, my wife, who had been off work with depression and through stress issues, had decided to been encouraged to do something which was therapeutic for her, which involved starting a business. It grew, and when I gave up my job, I intended to spend some time helping her with this thing she'd created, which was too much for her. And it grew, and it took up my time and hers. And then she developed cancer, and she was unable to work for a year, in which case I carried on doing the business on my own. And like so many other things I've done, it wasn't something I'd chosen to do, which I fell into, about which I knew absolutely nothing. But I did that, and then she recovered, and the business grew, and then she was off with her sister being ill, her mother being ill, and I carried on. Was that before or after her illness? I can't remember. Incredibly stressful, because it involved not just work at home, which was too much because I didn't know what I was doing, but also the bit that brought the money in was going out and meeting people and selling them things, which was difficult. But because it was just the two of us, I could cope with that. I was the face of the business. She stayed at home generally. I went out. I worked at home with her and then went out and did the people interactions, which was really stressful. But it was satisfactory. I met some nice people, some of whom became at some level friends. One is still a very close friend, I feel. But lots of meeting people, dealing with people. Then we had the coronavirus business, and it was just the two of us working together day in, day out. And I really enjoyed that, because we were still interacting with other people, but on a different level. Very little group, lots of individuals. And we were together all the time. And I did enjoy that. And I long for a return to those days, although the work was impossible, unsustainable. I enjoyed it. We were making more money than ever before, self-employed people. Then things gradually returned to a species of normality, which is, it's still good. We don't have the closeness, just because the whole dynamics of the thing have changed. But I'm still doing it. I find it very stressful at times, exhausting, not getting much sleep. But I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it. And part of the problem is I, at the moment, couldn't do anything else, because the social phobia that has been with me my whole life has grown. It's become much more significant now. To the extent that I can't contemplate being with other people regularly. And this is something I want to address and I need to address. Is that why I'm here, to talk about that? Maybe. Maybe. It all has its roots in intense childhood trauma principally between the ages of 0 and 7 or 8. there were some pretty awful things. Abuse in various forms, which I don't really intend to talk about here, only not specifics, just general terms. But that abuse coloured, created how I behaved with other people, in relationships with other people, towards other people. And it wouldn't be an underestimate to say that it scarred me for the whole of my life. And that has made me, the dysfunctional part of me, who I am. Now I've made various attempts over the years, spanning many, many years and costing lots of money, to try and address, come to terms with, deal with, even acknowledge this, and it's failed dismally. Truly, it's been a waste of time, effort, and significant amounts of money, thousands and thousands of pounds. At a conservative estimate, maybe, I don't know, as much as £40,000 on therapies, talking therapies that have really brought me no lasting good, no lasting benefit, and possibly minimal transient benefits. Anyway, that was then. Within the last year, I think, not going back much further than that, I have found someone to talk to, which has been largely, initially, contact via email, text, not face-to-face, very occasionally face-to-face. More recently, more face-to-face, still text-based. But that has made such a difference to my life. I have been able to talk to someone in a safe, trusting space in a way that I have never been able to talk before. I talk with my partner on a different level about different things, but there is a different degree of trust now. And I know it's temporary, it can't go on forever, but that has made a big help. And also through that, I have been introduced to other activities, I shall say euphemistically, which have really helped me to look at myself, things going on in myself and things that have gone on in the past, the things that I've never been able to share or look at with therapists. Difficult things, much of it, and being able to share that even on some level has been such a help, as has the introduction to the idea of recording videos of myself. Very difficult. I've always hated the sound of my voice since the first introduction, no, before the first introduction to tape recording. I hated the internal sound, and listening to it externally, I hated it even more. Now, I started doing these videos, how long ago? 6 months ago? Maybe more. Just videos of myself, which I then proceeded to delete because I hated what I heard. But I have become better at it. I would like to have had the original ones to see if I sound the same, but I have become more acceptant of my voice and my face. I can actually record a video looking at my face, face-to-face video, without cringing and having to erase it the moment it's finished. So that has been a good thing, a radical development. The next thing is to actually say things in the videos. Anyway, this is very basically, very briefly, where I'm coming from. Intense childhood trauma, which still, there's a lot of stuff around there, a lot of feelings, memories, as yet unexplored. But that has made me who I am, as have family and relationships up to this point. And this is just about me going forward from now. An introduction to me, who I am. There'll be more, hopefully more talk about how I got here and what it's like. And hopefully a lot about where I'm going and how I'm getting there. Bottom line is, in many ways my life is contracted down to the bare minimum of relationships and going outside. But in other ways I feel stronger, more confident, and I know myself better than I have ever before. And let's see where this takes me.